Hi, I'm Patrick Byers, retired horticulture field specialist with University of Missouri Extension, based in southwest Missouri. For over 100 years, University of Missouri Extension has delivered reliable, responsive, and relevant resources to the specialty crop farmers of Missouri with the goal of promoting success. What do these resources look like today? Let's learn more from MU Extension specialists and from Missouri specialty crop farmers.
Hi, I'm Jay Chism. I'm the director here at the University of Missouri's Southwest Research, Extension, and Education Center. There's probably not a better resource for specialty crop growers than University of Missouri Extension. The work that we do day in and day out is really focused on helping them be successful. One thing about in today's environment, there is a lot of information out there for growers to go through. Obviously, we can get online, you can get all different types of information about how to grow crops, what's important. It even brings the value of University of Missouri Extension even higher. The research that we do is so critical because, again, we're not trying to sell a product, we're just trying to improve the production of our growers. And so the research-based information is really key to what we deliver and key to what makes a farmer successful in the specialty crop industry in Missouri.
Hi, I'm Sean Bishop with Bishop Gardens LLC outside of Cassville, Missouri. We're a small family-owned operation that specializes in blackberries, strawberries, and grafted tomato production. When we began farming, there was this very romantic notion in our mind as to what farming was going to be. And then as you begin your season, relatively quickly you realize that when the squash bugs come in, or when spotted winged Drosophila begin to move into the berries, oh my goodness, I have no idea what I'm actually doing. There seems to be quite a distance between data and wisdom. And the idea of being able to hold workshops, to have individual consultations with these professionals that have absolutely helped us from the beginning has been invaluable because it connects those two pieces. The data that's readily available on the internet, and most of it for free anymore, but with the wisdom of application. When do we do these things, and how do you bring those about in a way that's still economic, because you have to make money on farm? I think that for us, at least, that's the importance of disseminating, of spreading and bringing to the farmers research-based information, is it helps us to make the proper decisions the best that we can.
Hey everybody, my name's Matthew Huchtemann. I'm a field specialist in horticulture with the University of Missouri Extension, stationed in Jasper County. I'd like to tell you a little bit about some of the services that University of Missouri Extension can provide to set our specialty crop growers up for success. The first that I would like to mention is our soil and plant testing laboratory. It's located on campus. A farmer anywhere throughout the state can send in a sample through their county office. They can send in a soil sample to see where their nutrient and pH levels are at, to check out their soil chemistry, and receive recommendations back on those from the university. They can also send in a plant tissue sample from the field, and that's another great way to check actual nutrient levels as well in the plant tissue. We also have the MU Plant Diagnostic Clinic. It's a similar situation. Farmers can send in through the county office, they can send in disease plant samples, they can send in insect samples and weed samples as well and get a positive ID. Another important service that University of Missouri Extension offers is just one-on-one consultation with a local field specialist. And this is one of my favorite services that we offer. It's a free service. You can call your local extension office and get a hold of a specialist in your region relevant to what crop you are growing, and they can come out and have a look at what issues you may be having. They can help to provide research-based solutions to any problems that you may be having on your operation.
Hi, I'm Ernie Boner from Persimmon Hill Farm in Lampe, Missouri. My wife and I started Persimmon Hill Farm in 1982. We started with blueberries, we added blackberries, elderberries, shiitake mushrooms, and we also do processing. We process the berries and mushrooms into sauces and jams and syrups and that type of thing. And that has provided us work all year round. We have utilized University Extension many times. They're kind of our first go-to when we need to find something we don't know about, whether it's a plant disease or one of the things that particularly that we found early on that we needed to have another complete discipline that we needed to know about, and that was processing. And we utilized at the University of Missouri Extension, then a gentleman by the name of Doug Holt ran the operation of processing, and he was just incredible. And we utilized him time and time again for processing times for our products and establishing procedures to keep things safe and that type of thing. And actually, we're required to have a processing authority, and he was ours for many years. And actually, before him, Robert Marshall helped us develop a brand new product called shiitake mushroom sauce that was very instrumental in helping us market shiitakes there initially. Another example that we had, we were almost ready to open for a season, and we had a huge hailstorm. We lost the whole crop virtually. And in addition to that, of course, you have a lot of damage from hail. You have lesions on your plants, and that's something we never had experience with. And so we went to the university and asked them and tried to figure out exactly what we needed to do. We really couldn't recover the crop for that year, but that can extend for basically ruin your crop, because as you have lesions on the plants, you can have an entrance for viruses and all kinds of problems there. So in any case, we went through that, and that was an emergency we hit very quickly, and they responded very quickly, and we were able to develop a spray program that allowed us to heal the plants and get them back online as quickly as we possibly could. And it was very valuable. Actually, in addition to that, a lot of those procedures that we learned at that time helped us in the long run, that we just continued as opposed to just using it for a recovery period. So that really, to be honest with you, helped us become better growers and better farm in the long run.
Missouri specialty crop farmers grow crops and operate businesses in a highly regulated atmosphere. University of Missouri Extension can be a valued partner in, first of all, developing educational opportunities so that farmers can understand the realities of compliance, and secondly, developing programs that help farmers actually comply with these regulations. An example is in the area of integrated pest management and pesticide use. University of Missouri Extension has developed programs to help farmers understand the insect and disease complex on their specific farm. This is an extremely valuable experience. Other resources might give general information, but there's no substitute for understanding what actually is going on in the microclimate on a given farm. And individual consultations and attendance at workshops can help farmers understand what is happening on their farm. Secondly, if a farmer is interested in applying restricted use pesticides, University of Missouri Extension, in partnership with the Missouri Department of Agriculture, has developed educational programs to help farmers apply for and comply with the requirements to receive the private pesticide application license. There are other farm activities that are regulated that University of Missouri Extension can help with. For example, when setting up a business structure, University of Missouri Extension can offer advice on the most effective structure for a given farm. If a farm is considering value-added or processed products, University of Missouri Extension can help understand the regulations surrounding the production of these products. And University of Missouri Extension is available to help give advice on things such as complying with sales tax issues, with weights and measures issues, and other aspects of production that are regulated.
Hello, I'm Jan Wooten from Sunshine Valley Farm. My husband Mike and I started this farm in 1991, and we currently produce blueberries, blackberries, and several vegetables. Most of those are in the hoop house. Well, in our industry or in our farming practices, there are two areas that both entail a lot of regulation and a lot of training in order to comply with the regulation. And that's the use of pesticides, which especially when we were running the orchard, we had to use more pesticides than we do in the small fruit, and food safety. So for pesticide training, it's always available. We have to get certified every few years, and Extension helps provide the opportunity to get that certification, as well as the information to be ready for it. All of the spray guides that we have include all kinds of information about the pre-harvest interval and when you can use a product, the course, the dosage, the timing of when to apply it. And those are critical bits of information. It's helpful to have it all compiled into a source that you can get from one book. Obviously, each product has its own label, and the people having gone through the labels and put all that information into a book makes it much easier for the producer to use that information and to use those products. Food safety has been more in our awareness. Probably at least in the last 10, 15 years, it became more obvious that there were problems in some of our production that was creating food that wasn't as healthy for people as we needed it to be. And so as regulations came down the pike, then it became necessary for those of us to produce food for the public to take classes, to understand some of the rules on how to do some of the things that are basic that we've done all along, but how to maybe tighten it up a little bit, how to teach our employees to use food safe practices. And so those things, time consuming to go to the workshops, but important as we go along. We want people to have safe food. COVID is another example of how in the world we're going to deal with COVID, especially as the information changed, as the science became more knowledgeable of how people were spreading COVID. But even outside, we wanted people to be safe as they were enduring this situation. And we used ideas that Extension helped us to find out on how we could separate people better, how we could keep them safer, and so they weren't breathing on each other. So, for example, we used every other row technique of picking, so that people were only picking into their one bush. There wasn't a person opposite them that they were breathing on. And so we were able to manage with some challenges to allow people to come outside and pick. And it was one of the few family activities that people found that they could do safely. And so it was actually quite a popular thing during COVID for people to be outside and picking their own fruit. But overall, the food safety things are important. During that period of time, we learned how to set up our hand washing stations and bucket cleaning stations and all of our trays and things that we use for pick your own.
Hi, I'm Sarah Havens, Southwest Regional Director for University of Missouri Extension. It's important for us to remember how much Extension has to offer. For our specialty crop producers specifically, they are able to access Extension through offices, through our website, through our handouts that we have. We provide a lot of resources start to finish, whether you're at the beginning of your journey as a specialty crop producer or perhaps you have years of experience. We provide resources for whatever stage you're at, whatever ability you have as far as a producer goes. Again, kind of start to finish. If you're just starting to dream it, you can meet with our specialists one-on-one. You can attend classes that we offer, or you can, again, access our resources on the MU Extension website that can provide, again, resources at whatever stage you are as far as being a specialty crop producer. We have offices in just about every county across Missouri. So if you don't even know where to start, you can walk in the door of an Extension office and they will set you on that path to success.
Hi, I'm Curtis Millsap from Millsap Farm. We are in Springfield, Missouri, actually 4 miles north of town, and we grow 3 acres of vegetables and cut flowers. We've been here doing this for 18 years. So we've seen a tremendous change in our local food growing environment, and I love to share about that. Farming is a big tent. There are people of every shape, size, color, gender under that tent. I mean, there is no discriminating in who eats, and there should be no discrimination in who raises that food. We've seen that firsthand in the people who come to work on our farm. We've had women, younger folks, older folks, people of color, people of a wide range of backgrounds and religious perspectives. And one theme that we've carried through that is that everyone belongs in the soil. There is no discrimination. When you go to pull a weed, that is not a matter of discrimination. There's no reason to be making lines that aren't real. And so one thing we've always appreciated about Extension is they have embraced that full-throatedly from the very beginning. The Extension Service, as we've experienced it for the last 25 years, has always reached out to everyone. They recognize this large tent idea, and they have intentionally reached out to those people who maybe traditionally were even underserved. A great example that I can think of is here in the Ozarks, we have a large Hmong population, and those people are largely displaced by the Vietnam War and other chaos in Southeast Asia, and came to the U.S. They were farmers back home, and it made a lot of sense for them to farm here. But, of course, their knowledge base was very local, very specific. I mean, they were farming in the tropics, in the mountains. And here they were in the Ozarks, where it actually frosts, for goodness sake. And you can't plant sugarcane. It doesn't quite work out. And so Extension was there almost immediately, right beside them, helping them figure out what can and can work here. How do we take the knowledge base and the experience base that they have, and then leverage that and add to it in a way that helps them be really successful within this context. And that's good no matter what you think about people of color or whatever. That's just a good thing. When they are succeeding, that raises everybody's boat. A rising tide raises all boats. So something I've really appreciated about Extension over the years is their passion and desire to make sure everybody's in the tent of growing good food.
Thank you for joining us for this video on the importance of the relationship between Missouri specialty crop farmers and University of Missouri Extension. To access the many resources available from University of Missouri Extension, visit your local county extension office. There's a horticulture field specialist assigned to that office, and develop a relationship with that horticulture field specialist. Check out the University of Missouri Extension website. There's a host of resources available online for Missouri specialty crop farmers. And visit with your fellow specialty crop farmers who have accessed the University of Missouri Extension. I'm Patrick Byers, retired horticulture field specialist with University of Missouri Extension.